In today's news, Velma Chung of the Virgin Islands takes us down memory lane with a cultural remembrance of VI heritage. The VI Communal Association hosts traditional VI Christmas and your weekly Royal Virgin Islands Police Arrest Blotter.
As well as various Caribbean countries say no travel ban to and from the UK, as well as BVI residents voice their frustration about the recent quarantine breaches. Now all this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Can you hear the Christmas bells ringing? Are you listening? Right Way Food Markets is giving back up to $10,000 to you, and yes, you. Spend $50 or more in any one of our locations for a chance to win one of two $500 store vouchers each week. And there's more. On the day before Christmas, two lucky persons will win $1,000. Just scan the QR code to upload your receipt or simply drop it into the entry box to win. This promotion ends on December 24th. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
I am a poor boy too.
Welcome everybody. It's Thursday, December 24th, 2020, coming to you live and direct from Tortola, a very special Christmas Eve newscast. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes. We are just so happy to be coming to you on this eve of Christmas as we basically lay out your local, regional, and international content.
Yes, before we get into our newscast, some headlines that are taking wave. Of course, there are now 13 confirmed cases of COVID in the BVI. We have a search that continues for a missing Dominican Republic national. And the new Just Van Dyke School is said to be a top priority for the government of the Virgin Islands.
Now, Ron, let's just jump right into this newscast.
Yes,
this
indeed.
Christmas Eve. We have so much for you, viewers.
Beginning on a local scene, the Virgin Islands Communal Association hosted a traditional Virgin Islands Christmas at the Elmore Stout High School grounds on Saturday, December 19th, 2020. Now, at the function, there was various traditional foods, gift items, and games of yesteryear, such as jacks, spinning tops, marbles, pick-up stones, bat and ball, skipping with a traditional twist, pick up of the guts of Tortola, and of course so much more. Now, the highlight of the evening was a depiction of traditional Christmas caroling in the British Virgin Islands. There were 5 groups of carolers who all visited a village home. Miss Finney's House, played by actress, playwright, and cultural icon Janice Stout, along with actress Sandra Herbert and budding young actresses Precious and Rosafina. Now, the stage depicted a traditional Virgin Islands house decorated with flycatchers, goat skin, cold goose, ironing board, and other items of yesteryear. The table was spread with food and drinks that are often prepared for the carolers: baked ham, bagged ham, tarts, nuts, sweets, guava berry liqueur, and other soft drinks. Now, vendors also sold local foods such as goat head soup, fish soup, pea soup, stew mutton, corn poke, and peas and rice. At the event, Deputy Premier and Minister for Culture, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley, presented the Virgin Islands Communal Association with a check in the amount of $2,000 on behalf of the Leader of Government Business, the Honorable Andrew A. Foy, to help in preserving Virgin Islands culture and, of course, to encourage continued progress. Now, additionally, CCT, our local Virgin Islands cell phone company, was present and gave a donation of $500 towards the cause. Now, the VICA's president and function coordinator, Miss Melissa Potter, stated that she is grateful for all the supporters and performers and is already inspired with the thought of a gratitude fest for 2020, with the traditional games of yesteryear being used as a tool to bridge the gap between all ages. As she witnessed, she said, both youths and adults participating, including mostly seniors, enjoying the traditional games played at the function. Mrs. Irene Parsons, a senior from the Bruce Bay community, won the Jacks competition. She also stated that it was a great joy to see the adults teaching the youth who didn't know how to play the games such as jack pickups, stones, marbles, skipping with a twist. Ms. Potter feels with more interaction, support, and willingness of adults to teach the youths of our generation, this aspect of Virgin Islands traditional games will continue with the younger generation who are eager to learn about Virgin Islands cultural games. One of the VICA's main goal is to continue to promote Virgin Islands culture here in the BVI. Kyla, of course, last week we sat down with Dr. Vanterpool, Harlan Vanterpool, the Vice President of the Communal Association, and we're happy to see that the event was a huge success. This is so important as we continue to preserve Virgin Islands culture.
Most definitely. I like to basically expound and really narrow in on those sentiments that Miss Potter basically said. The fact that, loving to see adults basically teach the youth about culture and the cultural games. Now, youths cannot learn if the adults are not willing to teach.
Very
and I
true.
think it's so important for that preservation of culture to be passed down in every way. Food, music, games. We definitely need to keep our Virgin Islands culture alive.
Could not agree with you more.
Now, as we move on, now, Ron, we've been hearing a lot these last few weeks about the quarantine breaches. Now, it's just been too many. And
Correct.
now we see where the residents now of the Virgin Islands are growing a bit tired and wary of the constant breaches of quarantine in our territory. Now, one resident submitted their concerns to a local news site in the territory. The resident sounded frustrated and, I said before, wary. Now, the resident wrote, and I quote, "Last week we heard that a visitor infected with COVID-19 casually walked out of quarantine and mingled with members of the community. This week, the public is in a frenzy because we are hearing that a citizen of the Dominican Republic dashed out of quarantine and is now in the community as a possibly infected fugitive, that is." He went on to say, "It can't walk, my son. We can't allow people to take us lightly. We are peaceful people, but we are not pushovers. We are almost COVID-19 free, not because we are of rare gene that fights off the disease, but because we are paying a high economic price for it. People who come here need to respect that. If they can't, then we should put them in jail. It's as simple as that. We have to make them respect us." Now, the resident continued by making suggestions to the government on how to curb these types of behavior. Now, the resident's opinion is that the recent rise in fees is still not enough. They said, and I quote, "I believe the government should go back into the boardroom, close the door, and add some jail time to the list of penalties for breaching our quarantine protocols. I understand that the fines were recently increased under the COVID-19 control and suppression entry of persons regulations. The greatest penalty is now $10,000. It is just not enough." Now, Ron, this was sentiments by one of the residents here in the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
And they are basically saying that it is not enough. And they went on to say, look at what Cayman did to the U.S. citizens who left quarantine. She and her boyfriend are spending some vacation time in jail over there. As early as March, Russia added some jail time to its penalty list. They have a 7-year prison sentence if anyone with COVID-19 breaks out of quarantine, and others die as a result. I'm not saying we should take it that far, but we need to take it further than a $10,000 fine. This resident, Ron, is simply fed up. And I think we've been speaking a lot about it. We've heard our leaders have some sentiments on it, but we see where the residents themselves are saying, and they're definitely right, when this resident said that it's not because we are of rare gene,
Correct.
but it's because we are paying an economic price to be able to be COVID-19 free. We went under several lockdowns. Our businesses definitely paid for
Yes.
it, or people paid for it. And now for persons to come in and break those laws that we have been under for quite some time now, it is definitely disrespectful. So maybe now that the residents are speaking out, maybe our government might listen, but we'll have to see. Now, viewers, still ahead, the Royal Virgin Islands Police force a weekly arrest blotter, and Caribbean countries say no travel ban to the UK thus far. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors.
The win! Oh!
What are the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News.
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin', what's really good, what's happening, what's up?
Davis has won it for the
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man fit take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. Now on to the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force weekly arrest blotter. Police arrested and charged Albert George Jr., 38, of the Valley Virgin Gorda for being armed with an offensive weapon, common assault, and criminal damage. Police arrested and charged Rexford Matthews, 49, of Long Look for drunkenness when in charge of a motor vehicle, driving without a driver's license, driving without due care and attention, and driving when not covered by insurance. Police arrested and charged Alistair Lewis, 25, of Seacows Bay for driving without a VI driver's license. Additionally, police arrested and charged Ronald Antoine for driving without crash helmet, refusing to give name, disorderly conduct in a police station, and resisting arrest. Police arrested and charged Lyron Foy, 29, of the Valley Virgin Gorda for unlawful possession of a controlled drug and possession of cannabis. Police arrested and charged Joaquim Gishard, 32, of Carrot Bay for possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life, attempted murder, and common assault. Police arrested and charged a 42-year-old Vincentian national for rape. That sums up the weekly arrest blotter from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force.
Yes, a busy week for our policemen as usual. Now as we move on in this newscast, since the discovery of a new contagious strain of the coronavirus in the United Kingdom, Ron, we spoke about this earlier this week, and now we see where the majority of the world has put the UK on what we can call quarantine, as they have banned travel to and from the country. Now, surprisingly, many Caribbean countries are not banning travel despite this new revelation. We see leaders in Barbados, the Bahamas, and even right here in the BVI have taken this same position. Now, Health Minister in the Bahamas, Renward Wells, says the territory is closely monitoring the situation in the United Kingdom following the reports of this contagious strain of the coronavirus emerging in that country. According to Wells, said there are no immediate plans to impose a travel ban against the UK, but presently there are no direct flights from the UK to the Bahamas. I think, he said, and I quote, "I think those flights are supposed to start again in February, and so we'll just be observing it. We're seeking to ensure that we maintain the health protocols that we have in place, that anyone who's coming into the country has to be able to take a RT-PCR test before they come in. So we're seeking to deal with this particular strain at the borders, said the health minister. Now we look over in Barbados, where the health minister, Jeffrey Bostwick, he indicated that they are being very vigilant about this new COVID-19 strain, which has caused some countries to impose restrictions on travel to and from the UK, as I said before. He said, and I quote, "The advice from WHO, PAHO, which is PAHO, is that we should not restrict flights that come from the UK at this time, because what is known of the variant does not suggest we should do that." To be honest, this thing has been around, I believe, from September, and it's not only in the UK, it's also in Denmark, the Netherlands, Italy, and other countries. He also said, and I quote, "So at this point in time, with the restrictions imposed in the United Kingdom, we do not think we are going to restrict flights from the UK." Now, we look right here in the British Virgin Islands. Our very own Minister of Health, Honourable Carvin Malone, said that the government has not yet decided to implement a travel ban against the UK at this time. Now, Minister Malone explained to a local news agency here in the territory, and I quote, "Cabinet, after meetings this week, will give further updates as to what precautions we may need to take. We note with interest all of the countries that have been taking precautions, and even precautions taken by the United Kingdom itself. So we're monitoring very closely the developments." From the very onset, when COVID-19 was deemed a global pandemic, decisions were made as to what measures were to be taken with high, medium, and low-risk countries. We will continue to do this in the best interest of the people, for the people of the British Virgin Islands. So we span across the region, Ron,
yes,
and we see where, at least in the Caribbean, they're still allowing flights to and from the UK, although some parts of the world are not doing so at the time. Some persons might call it crazy. Some might call it just being cautious and waiting for new developments.
What I do think leaders across the region are definitely seemingly moving towards watching and observing and monitoring the situation versus, like you said, making a very quick, hasty decision.
Most definitely. Now, as we move on, we see where Miss Velma Chung takes us down memory lane with a cultural remembrance of VI heritage. And the EU finally comes to a Brexit agreement. Now, all this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. Now, it is Christmas in the beautiful British Virgin Islands, and one of the beautiful things, Kyla, about Christmas in the Virgin Islands is it always takes us back down memory lane.
Of course.
And one of our cultural icons, Mrs. Velma Chung, recited a poem that really depicts Virgin Islands culture. So we have that, and we're going to share it with you right now. Take a look.
Young people, I want you to listen to this poem. It goes back about 40 or 50 years. And this is how it used to be at Christmas time in my village, Caribbean. Around this time, we're picking wood for the oven. Potato and pumpkin to peel to make the pudding. The cassava done scrape. The bag ham done in soak. And if things were good, you had a piece of fresh pork. And Christmas Eve Day had so much to do. The coconut to peel, pineapple to stew. And when the mother finished mixing up the tart and the cake, she would put them in this hot brick oven to bake. You didn't use any cold eggs. They came straight from the fowl. As we heard the hen cackle, we went on the prowl. Those eggs were fresh and yellow like gold. When you cut a slice of plum cake, what a sight to behold. You could tell when the whole neighborhood started to bake. The almond and vanilla essence in them plum cakes. Nowadays, you have to put the bottle up to your nose. You can't smell a thing. You have to double the dose. You think we had rub? Some had linoleum. It was that and a piece of oil skin we used to buy from Roland. And each glass out of the little showcase washed and dried. With flycatcher and the homemade curtains flying high. You had to get on your knees with the moron bush. Or use it for wet skin. You had no brush. You mix the flour paste. Then you get the almonds out of the book. And you paper the partition. What a beautiful look. Well, we didn't have no Christmas tree out and no box. There's one of them inkberry with the prickles from up to Big Rock. And we used to cut one that had a real good height. And these candles we had, no musical lights. Boy, on Christmas Eve night, when you're done in your bed, you suddenly come awake with a sweet sound in your head. It was either the carolers or Mr. Scatlick's Scratch Band, bringing Christmas greetings to everyone. On Christmas Day, you couldn't wait to see what you got. Perhaps a balloon, a little sparkler. It sure wasn't a lot. Sometimes a gun and socket, a mouth organ, tiny doll. I remember looking in Sears order book and trying not to buy. But Christmas Day in itself was a joy back then. You had to go visit your auntie, your uncle, your pepe, your nen. Then they will give you sweet bread, plum cake, ham and bang bang. But you couldn't get a sip from that green demijohn. People used to visit and go from door to door. We didn't look down on nobody, because almost everybody was poor. My late father, Alcido, would always say to me, that's when everybody was living in unity. But let's face it, some things will never be the same again. But this year, get together with your family and friends. And as you celebrate the Savior's birth, let's each be responsible for a little peace on earth.
That was indeed a trip down memory lane, specifically for our viewers across the region who may not be aware of what it was like for Virgin Islanders as it pertains to just traditions and everything. This gives us a great a scenario. What a wonderful depiction of VI culture and heritage.
Ron, I love these types of stories. I love when elders come and speak about the past, and you can truly feel what it probably felt like back then. I definitely miss that feeling of Christmas in the BVI, and I think we need to learn from that trip and
I agree.
Those reminiscing memories and how we can get back there, that togetherness, and that's definitely what we're looking for this season. Now, before we close out, viewers, we do want to just give you a sneak peek about this story, and it will be on our website if you want to further explore it. But just after months of talking, and at almost the last minute, Britain and the European Union struck an agreement on Thursday. Now, with just over a week until the UK's final split from the EU, the British government said the deal is done. It said the deal was the first free trade agreement based on zero tariff and zero quotas that has ever been achieved with the EU. Now, EU officials also confirmed an agreement had been reached. Now, they said, and I quote, "So we have finally found an agreement. It was a long and winding road, but we have got a good deal to show for it." Now, this was said by the European Commission president. Now, he went on to say, "It is fair, it is a balanced deal, and it is the right and responsible thing to do for both sides." Now, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson was expected to make a statement on that same day. The deal ensured that two sides can continue to trade in goods without tariffs or quotas, but despite the breakthrough, key aspects of the future relationship between the 27-nation bloc and its former member remains uncertain. Now, the British and the European Parliament both must hold votes on the agreement, though the latter may not happen until after the UK leaves the EU's economic embrace on January 1st. Now, months of intense and often testy negotiations gradually whittled the difference between the two sides down to three key issues. Now, fair competition rules, mechanisms for resolving future disputes and fishing rights, as well as the rights of EU boats to trawl in British waters, remained the last obstacle before it was resolved. However, key aspects of the future relationship between the 27-nation bloc and its former member remain unresolved. Now, Johnson had insisted that the UK would prosper mightily even if no deal was reached, and the UK had to trade with the EU on the World Trade Organization terms. But his government has acknowledged that a chaotic exit was likely to bring a gridlock at the British ports. Now, temporary shortages of some goods and prices increases for staple foods. Now, the EU has long feared that Britain would undercut the bloc's social, environmental, and state end rules after Brexit, becoming a low regulation rival on the doorstep. Now, Britain denies planning to institute weaker standards, but said that having to continue following EU regulations would undermine its sovereignty. Now, a compromise was eventually reached on the tricky level playing field issue, and the economically minor but hugely symbolic issue of fish came to be the final sticking point, with the maritime EU nations seeking to refrain access to the UK waters where they have long fished, and Britain insisting it must exercise control as an independent coastal state. Now, viewers, if you want more on that story and more on this Brexit deal, you can definitely get that on our website at 284media.com. But before we close out, we definitely want to wish you viewers a Merry Christmas, a season's greeting, and just have a great holiday from your team right here at 284 Media.
Wishing you guys all the very best this season.
Now, viewers, of course, that's it for our news roundup. You can follow us on 284 Media on Facebook and 284 BVI on Instagram, as well as Twitter. It is always my pleasure. I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We'll see you again on Tuesday. It's going to be a long one,
Yes.
but we do wish you a great weekend, long holiday weekend. We're going to continue to keep you posted via our website, of course, giving you your dose of local, regional, and of course international content. We're 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news, right here on 284 Media in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Happy Thursday and Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye.